So this is August the 9th. Not quite 30 days since we planted, and this is the tobacco that's been hanging in the barn. Actually a chicken coop, but you can see the colors changing really nice. Still a little green on the inside where they've been touching real good, but those are actually the best leaves because they're the most pliable. Of course, the ones on the outside tend to dry out, but you can hear how kind of crinkly they are. But still, you know, not like I would expect it. The ones in the middle are very pliable still, and you want to keep them that way. I'm going to let these go a little bit more until they're all brown, and my plan is to ferment them in an oak barrel that I have inside. It's a 2-gallon oak barrel, and I'm going to char the inside first, mainly because I've used it before for fermenting apple cider, and I just want to make sure it's sterile before I put the tobacco leaves in there. And I'm going to keep them pressed down real tight and keep them there as long as it takes to till I feel like they're fermented good. And then I'll decide what to do with them, whether it's pipe tobacco or cigars. I don't know if I have enough really good leaves for cigars for a wrapper. I think I probably do. Maybe 3 or 4. The hornworms have just been horrible this year. And right now I'm about to go out and cut the rest of the leaves off of the remaining plants because the hornworms have just devastated everything. You'll see when I get there. Just in the last few weeks, or the last few days actually, the hornworms just seem to have come out in earnest. So here's the remaining plants, and I've plucked off a lot of the bottom leaves. That's what you saw hanging in the barn there, and that's the little one that got damaged, and it never fully recovered, although the hornworms seem to stay away from it a lot. But you can see the damage that they've done, and literally some of this damage took place in a day, maybe even a half a day. I've had to strip off a lot of leaves because they just did so much damage. It wasn't worth even trying to save what was left. This is probably by far the worst one. This is what the hornworms can do if you let it go for a day and a half, literally, and don't get them off, and they will grow so fast. It's unbelievable. You know, I've come out here, like I might check this plant, and there's nothing on it, nothing that I can see at least, and come back a day and a half later, and there's hornworms this long. And he's eaten every bit of that just about. So I'm gonna now take off everything that's left, be done for the year, simply because I can't keep up with these crazy worms. There's a lovely Coke bottle sitting there, but I'll show you how I've tied them up with zip ties and put them in the barn, and I'll put them with the rest of with the rest of the tobacco that's in there. So I'm gonna get started, and really it's just it's a simple process. These leaves pop off really easy. So what I'll do is I'll just go around and just pull them off one at a time, and I'll keep them flat together, holding them together, you know, into a leaf, you know, a single leaf size, but all stacked together, and then I'll tie them together at the stems here, maybe once they get about 1 inch thick, or maybe 1.5 inches. But I'll pick a bunch, and then I'll show you how I do that. One of the bad things that I found about growing in containers, and I really like growing them in containers, it seems like I have a whole lot more control over them. But as these things grow, they get top heavy, and like there's a thunderstorm going on right now, or is about to. Part of it just went over, and these things will blow over so fast. Now the big ones, the big 5 gallons, it's never blown over. So maybe the answer is that you move up to the 5-gallon or the 6-gallon bucket as quickly as possible, and that way you don't have a problem with them blowing over like this. But it really is a pain to have to keep coming out and turning them upright again. Keeping them watered is also a huge thing that will help keep them from falling over as well.
That's Black Diamond and Maple Valley is over here. So we did like.
Okay. Yeah.
And then if you zoom out.
So this is a little dark, but this is basically the finished product, all the way down the end there. And like I said in the first video, this is Havana 263 tobacco, and it actually went, if it weren't for the pests, it actually went a lot better than I thought it would. Next year, we're going to do a lot of things different. And what I'm going to do in the meantime is figure out how you can keep these moths, which is the hummingbird moth, I think is what they end up being, how you can keep them from laying these larvae in the first place on your tobacco plants. I'm sure the commercial tobacco growers have a pesticide they use, or maybe not. I think I'm going to look into that too and see what they do to control these things, because if you look at a commercial tobacco farm, there is nothing. I mean, every leaf looks perfect. There's a video on YouTube you can look up. It's called Padron Tour, Padron, which is a cigar manufacturer in Honduras. And watch Padron Tour, and same kind of tobacco here that they grow, the Havana, but they literally have, you know, hundreds of acres of perfect leaves, and I'm just amazed at how they might do that. But anyway, the next video will be when these are all finished curing, like these here on the end are all about done, and packing them in the barrel to ferment, and see how that goes. Thank you.
Smells good.
Okay, leave that.